Good morning, I'm Srikanth Verma, and I'm going to explain about the implementation of single linked list by insert, delete, search, and display. So now let's start the program. As include IOStream is a standard input output header file which declares a certain scene, and using namespace std, it is a standardized of input output statements. And here I have created a structure called a linked list, and here I have to initialize the data. So in the data, and then the linked list. A pointer next and a pointer head equal to null. Here and the address of the data is given to the null, and I used another function called avoid in front. A linked list pointer temp equal to new linked list. Here the address of the linked list is given to the new linked list, and cout enter the values, and seen temp data and temp next equal to null. Here the value of the temp is given to the next, and the next is given to the null. And I use the if statement here. So if head equal to null, then head equal to temp. Else head next equal to head, and head equal to temp. Here the value of the temp is given to the head. And I use another function called avoid head back. Here a linked list pointer temp equal to new linked list. Linked list pointer last. Here the value of the linked list is given the last. Cout enter the values, and seen a temp data, a temp next null. Here the value of the temp is given to the next, and it is given to the null. If head equal to null, then the head equal to temp, else last equal to head. And I used a while loop here. So while last the next is not equal to null, then last equal to last next, and last next equal to temp. Here the value of the last is given to the next, and the value of the next is given to the temp, that is head. And I used another function called avoid any position, and here I have to initialize the variable. So int p, and a linked list pointer temp equal to new linked list, and the linked list pointer ap equal to null, and star n equal to null. And cout enter the values, and seen a temp data, and a value of the temp is given to the data, and cout enter the position after which to be inserted. Seen p, seen temp next equal to null, and I use the if statement here. So if head equal to null, then head equal to temp. Then cout the element is stored in the starting position because there are no other elements in the list. Then else ap equal to head, and I use the for loop here. So for int I equal to 1 and I less than and I less plus, ap equal to ap next, n equal to ap next, and temp next equal to n, and ap next equal to temp. Here the value of the ap equal to head. So the head value is stored in the next, and the next value is given to temp. And the display, avoid display, then a linked list pointed pt, and pt equal to head, and I use the if statement. So if pt equal to null, then cout the list is empty, and I use the do while here. So do cout a pt data, and pt equal to a pt next. Here the value of the pt is given to the next. Here the statement is executes for the several times, then while pt is not equal to null, then after, and I have initialized the new variable. So int search, that is int s, and int constant equal to 0, a linked list pointer temp, and temp equals head, while a temp not equal to null. Say, and I use a if statement. So if a temp equal to data equal to s, then cout add position, then it return 1, and it breaks the statement. Else a temp equal to temp next, then the constant is incremented, then it returns the statement. And in the avoid deletion, a linked list start a pointer temp, then a temp equal to head. And in the if statement, if a temp equal to null, then cout the list is empty, and it returns the statement. Else head equal to head next, then delete temp. Here the value of the head is deleted. Int main, it is main function of this program. and I have to initialize a variable. So int ch equal to 1 and s, and while ch greater than 0, ampersand ch less than or equal to 6. Here ampersand gives the address of ch and s, and cout 1 in front, 2 at the back, 3 at any position, 4 delete, 5 search, 6 display, and 7 exit, and c in switch. I used here a switch case, so switch ch, and in case 1 in front, after that it breaks the statement. In case 2 at back, it breaks statement. In case 3 at position, it breaks statement. In case 4 deletion, it breaks statement. And in case 5 insert, it enters the element to search. Then c in search, and I use the if else if statement. If search yes, then cout a number is present, else cout if it is if it is does not present, then the number is not present in the list, and again it breaks statement. Then in case 6, if it is present, then it displays, and in case 7 it returns to 0, and in the break statement. So now let's see the output. uh, enter the value. I have entered the value as 36, and and in the I have to enter the next value, so I have given as 85, and in the delete I have given as mm, and in delete I have given the value as 1. Enter value, enter the position after which to be inserted as I have given as 1, and in the for delete for delete, and have given the element as 36. The number 36 is not given in the list, so and at the display position I have get a display options as 125 and 85. Thank you.